data.
This meeting is being recorded.
Aggregated data on it and understanding on it. One of the way is what Sadhan has adopted, pulling together all the stakeholders and creating a platform. At least we need to understand who is doing what. And another thing is to understand the microfinance sector, that where do we stand. AFI been very kind to us. They have come to us, talk to us, and there are some tools of them to give the institution as well as the industry association a better understanding how prepared are we for accessing the finance, for enactment of the activities, I mean, deploying of the funds, and also taking the things in a very progressive way. So we got Dr. Agya Tripathi to orient us about that how can we build up a kind of knowledge for the institution themselves and also for the sector. So AFI is a Germany-based institution who is working with us for good some time on different areas. And personally, Agya is in touch with us for a long time, even before AFI happened in his life. So let us hear from him and let us take it forward. We are looking forward to take this initiative uh, forward for one thing, that wherever we go, we talk about as an association, wherever we go, we do not have any data to tell. Southern aggregates some data, but we do not have very industry level data or industry level deep stick understanding that where are we standing. So this exercise possibly will give us a better understanding, and it will help us, the association, to take this beautiful work of us um, to the next level, which may lead to getting some more finance in the system. So over to you again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for giving us a chance. And this time, I also want to introduce one of my colleague, Miss Ananya Saha. She has recently joined Agents for Impact. She is based in West Bengal, and she will be also looking forward for this project, because as soon as we have discussed that the data is about to come, and once companies are getting onboarded, then definitely we will look forward for research and how we can utilize that data and leverage that data for bringing in more finance in the industry. Ananya, you can introduce yourself and then I will start.
Hi. Hi everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Ananya Shah. It's been a really short time I've joined AFI, and I'm really looking forward to this interaction. And together I believe that we can make this, opportunity a great success for both AFI and SAP. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. So I've prepared a very small presentation just to ensure that everybody is on the same page in terms of information and in terms of what kind of data we are seeking and how we are going to utilize that data. So I'm just sharing my screen. If once you're able to see, I think you need to enable my screen share. So just to tell all the participants that Sadhan is like kind enough to give us this opportunity that, okay, you bring this up, and I think it's almost, Saibal sir, it's almost 2 years we have discussed that.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you're able to see the presentation in the full format, or is it? It is.
Yes, it's visible.
It's visible. Okay. So I may not be able to see you probably. Is it changing?
It's moving. It's moving.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, what was the premises of all this was that Agents for Impact is working since 2018, and we have been working in more than 30 countries. We have done like more than 100 ratings for different institutions, largely on sustainability scoring and SDG alignment. Some of it part is also like seen as a ESG kind of a scoring, but because of the European laws and European rules, any company which is giving ESG rating should have a different kind of context. So we are calling it as a sustainability rating. And how it is like seen from our side is that as soon as companies start their business, they do certain things, because in a microfinance business we always go to the most vulnerable segment of the society, and then we always try to ensure that how we are giving them support, whether it is in the form of improving the process, it is in the form of creating new products, new process, or maybe some kind of ecosystem evolution. But many a times, even in my personal career, I have seen that mainly organizations do so many things, but they do not know what are the global standards and global parameters for those development activities, and how we should showcase or how we should disclose these social activities or these things in our annual report, so that they should get some kind of benefit in terms of like raising money, raising funds, or getting some kind of interest subvention, and so on. So as soon as this impact funding is like increasing, agencies, regulatory bodies, and development institutions, they all want us to report on double materiality. And if we get into the technicality of double materiality, it talks not only about the financial part of the institution, it also talks about the non-financial terms, and that's where ESG and UNSDG goals and some kind of sustainability parameters comes in. So agents for impact, for its due diligence purpose and for other purposes, it uses a tool which was created with the help of a few consultants based in Moody and other companies. It is called Afisar. But because Afisar was very expensive, so when I discussed with Saibal sir and Sangeeta ji and Gigi sir, they said that it's very expensive. So we thought that okay, for Southeast Asian countries, we should have some product which actually gives us some direction whether the institution is in the right direction in terms of sustainability. But either it should be free of cost, or the cost is something which somebody like a very small institution or a medium scale institution can actually bear that cost, because that becomes a large thing for most of the companies, that why we should use it, why we should purchase it. So that's how this Afisar Lite, which is completely like free of cost for all the Sadhan members right now. In main Afisar, we are using almost like 180 questions, around 180 questions on different sustainability development goals. And in Afisar, we will be using in the range of 35 to 40 questions. Some of them are coming from the financial quantitative parameters, but most of it, like around 29 indicators, are like coming from the qualitative indicators. So that's how this Afisar Lite version of Afisar main tool was like created, and the idea was conceived. So what we are doing today? So firstly, it's a joint initiative briefing, and we will see how we want to take it forward. And why this matters now, because growing pressure from different banks, regulators, development financial institutions, and all these investors who are investing in microfinance institution in the name of impact fund or social bonds or social funds or some kind of sustainability funds. All these institutions want microfinance companies to report some data. And microfinance companies actually, and mainly they are like into a business of giving money and then the repayment, right? And many institutions are doing that data which is related to their CSR activities or social activities, but they also do not know that what kind of data is required from any institution which is coming from Australia, or somebody who is coming from European zone, or somebody who is coming from USA. So different geographies have different standards or parameter for sustainability check. Afisar Lite actually takes care of few specific indicators which are based into sustainable development goals given by United Nations, and we have curated few indicators, and then we have put it into this our Afisar Lite a tool. If you like give your basic data into this, it will give you an indication whether you are in the right direction or not. It is not a full tool. I am again telling you, it is not a full tool. It will not give you full specific information, how you are doing, what you are doing, where you have to improve, and all that. But yes, definitely it will give you a direction that what you are doing is towards the sustainability parameters or not, whether this is something which like develop these impact institutions are looking forward or not. Many MFIs are facing like a problem related to access to finance, and that too finance at low cost. So this tool will also help you and guide institutions whether how impact funds are looking forward to it. Like most of the impact funds are now asking about a product which is directly coming into the portfolio of green portfolio. What is the percentage of your loan portfolio can be termed as green portfolio? Now, the first basic thing which many institutions might be doing, wash loan. If you ask any Indian MFI, do you have wash loan? The answer will be yes. But if you ask them what is the definition of wash loan, or how you categorize, or what are the eligibility criteria for wash loans, there are institutions who are doing it, but in writing they do not have it in policy. So the idea is that, are we doing, firstly, are we doing it? If yes, are we doing in the right way? And thirdly, whether whatever we are doing in the right way, are we reporting it? If we are not reporting it, definitely the leverage point will not come. And even if you are doing it for past 3 years or 4 years, no one is going to look forward and like give money for that. Introduction of Officer Light, as I told you, that it's a assessment framework for impact and sustainability alignment, a rapid version kind of a thing. A question which is a set questions which are like set of like 35 to 40 questions. It will not take more than 1 hour to for any company to put their data on the platform. And as soon as they put their data in one day, a basic report can be generated, and you can get an email from our Hedera platform. I will show you the Hedera platform, how it works. Developed by Agents for Impact for general and quick readiness assessment. It's a custom fit for small and medium MFIs, not for banks or very large financial institution. It covers ESG, Sustainable Development Goal, other financial and non-financial indicators. As I told, the double materiality assessment. So few indicators have been taken from there. That the key dimension, if you ask in terms of environmental, few questions or few things which we always want to check is whether there is some kind of carbon tracking is there, whether green lending is there or not. If you are doing green lending, what is the definition of green? Whether it is aligned with the Indian definition of NDP, or it is aligned with the European definition. That is also one thing we definitely want to see. In terms of social, we will be like few questions which are related to gender, client outreach, training, staff welfare. And so in training we can like simply ask a question: are your employees being trained on financial literacy, or are your beneficiaries being trained on financial literacy? If your answer is yes, then how many hours of training was there? What were the topics discovered, or what were the topics discussed? So these are the kind of questions which will come into that. In terms of governance, definitely one question definitely will come: do you have a ESG policy, or a ESG related matters are discussed at board level? If it is discussed at board level, what is your criteria, or what is your overall vision in 2025 or 2026? What is your plan for 3 years, or what is your plan for 5 years? How you are going to achieve your governance related indicators? Then institutional readiness, which is definitely your internal audit. And when we talk about internal audit, few questions which are related to ESG audit will also come. That yes, there is a E related portfolio, or E related process, or E related means E is environment related process or product. But do you have a risk assessment framework around it? So if that is not there, so whatever we are talking, if you are not able to assess the risk associated with it, definitely it will not be of much use. Because when somebody talks about impact, they also have to talk about what is the risk associated with it. So these are the sample questions. For example, do you track your carbon emissions? Do you offer financial literacy or sanitation related training to clients? Is there a policy on ESG, anti-corruption policy? Do you have anti-corruption policy? Do you have whistleblower policy? What percentage of your borrowers are rural women? If you say yes, this is the percentage. What is their age group? Do you have MIS which talks about that this is the age group? These many women are entrepreneurs, or these many women undergo some kind of financial literacy training. So these are the deep down questions which we start asking. is ESG discussed at board level. So it is not only about ESG policy, but it is also about how you process it, how the boards look at it. The joint effort with Sadhan, as I mentioned, we are looking for a collaborative study, which is going to be a kind of research study, where we want to map how the sector is ready for ESG, whether companies are having better understanding about ESG, are they reporting about it, are they collecting data about it? Because once that data is collected, it all depends upon how we want to showcase this data to our investors, to our stakeholders. That's how we see that we both are like a complementary association. So Sadhan is having a sector outreach and prioritization and validation. Everything is something which Sadhan will be doing. AFI will bring in their tool and the assessment framework and the international understanding about all these aspects of ESG and sustainability and impact investment and all that. The overall objective is like how to strengthen the MFI sector and to ensure that looking at it, more and more funds should be raised, which is already available in the form of climate bonds or in the form of green funds or impact funds or sustainability bonds. So this money is lying down there, but they are not able to invest this money into institution because they feel, investors always feel that institutions are not ready. And what they feel institution is not ready because they are looking for certain criteria, they are looking for certain ratios or certain parameters, qualitative or quantitative, whatever it be. But although I have seen, I've met many people, and they are doing something or the other around it, but they are not reporting it because they feel that, okay, this is very small, why we should report it? But the whole like ecosystem is doing something, but they are not reporting because they don't feel it as a important thing. So that is also something where the awareness should be created, and I believe with Sadhan definitely we are looking forward for doing that. So this is how the research action plan will be. A joint indicator selection will be done. Then some pilot testing with 10 to 15 MFIs who are going to use Afisar Lite. And then we are also bringing in some data which we have from our past in at AFI. And then we will like come out with the recommendation and some research data analytics thing, and that how the actionable these actions can be converted into some kind of policy, or these actions can give us a leverage that how to attract more and more investors into the whole ecosystem. In terms of AFI, what we have learned so far, at least for the Indian microfinance sector, we have invested into many microfinance companies, and again, there are many in pipeline, and there are many rating clients also. What we have understood that few MFIs publish ESG related reports and track climate risk, but many of them are doing in the wrong way, or many of them are not doing in a deep sense. So they know that yes, climate change is important. They also know that many impact funds are looking for certain indicators, but they do not know if we are going to Europe or if we are going to US, what kind of indicators will get changed, whether gender lens is also important with climate or only climate. So these are like certain areas where I believe there are few gray areas, and definitely AFI can help and AFI can support to overall like awareness for all the stakeholders within the Indian microfinance ecosystem. And we have also came across uh, microfinance companies which are of like I can say medium to large microfinance industries, who companies who are like successfully they have raised money. And if you see the difference between those large and medium FFIs who have raised money and those who are not able to raise money, the basic difference you will find that just awareness is one thing which they are doing in a different way. If you see the annual report of few MFIs which are large and they have like aggregated overall investment funds in a larger chunk, you will see the difference, that why they are able to do it, because they are able to report it in a different way, or they are able to report it in a better way. They are able to get hold of those people who are the impact investors. So I believe these are the few points where definitely Agents for Impact is also looking forward to support. Low percentage of women in governance despite client majority. So this is also one thing which we have found. Our data shows that Most of the microfinance companies focus upon women beneficiaries. But if you ask a question that, okay, how many or what is the percentage of board members, female board members in your company? I think barring one or two companies, I think in most of the companies we have seen, it's not more than 20% or 30%. Many MFIs lack formal ESG policies or audit structure. So large MFIs, definitely because of the disclosure, because of the rules and regulations by SEBI and like other regulatory bodies, they are able to make their ESG policies. But if you see ESG policies in a very critical way, you will find that the processes are not defined. If processes are defined, then KPIs are not defined. There you will find that for 2025, many companies have ESG policies, but they do not have any target for 2025. Even if they have some targets for 2025 or 2030, they do not know how the mechanism should be, that how to present this data in terms of what we have planned and what we have achieved and how we are planning to achieve more. So that is completely missing. Barring all this, there is one more problem which we have seen, that there is no internal risk assessment for climate related risk. And when we say internal policies for risk assessment, so although credit policies are very well defined, operational risk is very well defined, marketing risk is very well defined, but in terms of climate related risk, it is not well defined. And we understand that why it is not well defined, because we do not know. That is first part. But simply, if you see the European Union countries where we are working with different clients, so they have better policies in terms of definition, in terms of processing, in terms of overall risk matrix. So I think if nothing can be done, at least what we can do is whatever good is available in their policy, we can definitely pick out that and then customize our risk assessment frameworks as per their risk assessment framework. Whatever is working for us, we can definitely do it. The fourth thing is like digital readiness, which is again, if companies in India, like if they have good funding agencies, if they have a good backup, they have very good digital infrastructure. But again, there's a paradox kind of a thing, that those companies which are working largely with grassroots people, so their mode of function is largely that we should have a contact with our beneficiary, and this contact should not be like minimized at any cost, and that is also true. But if you see from a digitization point of view, this contact needs to be minimized so that people should come on board on a digital platform, and somehow the outreach can be improved. Although we are now seeing many MFIs struggling with this problem, because on one hand digitization like keeps you at bay with your customers, and on the other hand, the basic definition of microfinance is that trust, and that oneness is something because of which you always have control, and your customers are always in touch with you. So definitely this is also one thing, a debatable kind of thing, but this is also something which we have seen in Indian MFIs. This is a struggling point. uh, what is the benefit for the participating MFIs? I think the first benefit is this is free of cost, and the confidentiality is something which, because it's a German company and we comes under law of GFDR, which says that we cannot share, or the platform on which this data is going, we have a privacy policy also for that. So this data is not going to be used by anyone. AFI will definitely issue an acknowledgement email and also a general profiling of the company. And with Sadhan, we will be like using that data for coming out with the overall ecosystem analysis or basic research about the ecosystem, how it is going on, whether institutions are ready or not. SDG alignment insights without sharing detailed and full institution data. So most of the financial data we will not be asking. So it is only about the qualitative data, and on the basis of qualitative data, this whole assessment is based upon. Increased visibility for blended finance and ESG linked funding. So as soon as companies are able to like complete their data assessment or upload their like answers, we will be in a position to contact those MFIs or contact via Sadhan that, okay, these are the good companies which we see that, okay, maybe the next level of discussion can happen. Also, we are creating a pool of institutions which we feel are like good in terms of due diligence, in terms of ESG. Out of this pool, we have many investors around Europe who are always looking forward for putting in money or investing into those kind of institutions. So we will be sharing that list with the permission of Sadhan, and if you are also looking for some kind of funding. So this is something which is a win-win situation for all of the stakeholders into this. Uh, the strategic value for all the stakeholders, this is for us and Sadhan and the MFIs. This is how we are planning that maybe in May or June we can have first phase one rollout. Then the feedbacks and refinement of tool can happen if required. And then maybe a joint publication can come by August 2025. So this is how we are thinking that you can come into this and participate into this. So I just want to show one thing, that how it will look like. I hope you're able to see my screen. Sangeeta ji, you're able to see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So Hedera is our like a technical partner, and you can see this kind of landing page will be there, and the link will be available on our website, on Sadhan website. From there, this will be the landing page, and basic FAQs kind of thing will be made here. After that, there will be a login access given to the companies. They have to put in their company email address and the password. After that, this is the privacy statement where you have to read, understand, and at the end of it, there will be one small signature. Just we do everywhere that yes, we accept the terms and conditions. You can go through it, and this is very different from Indian privacy statement if you see, because it is directly from one of the strictest laws in Europe. And then this is how the basic dashboard will be. So for all the companies which are like getting into it, you have to click the sample survey. So all this will not be there. Then you have to log in, then sample survey, and then the questions will come. Those questions, as I mentioned, it will not be more than 35, in between 35 to 40. So if you ask, the total number of questions on E, S, and G will be around 30. 5 questions are like name of the company, total turnover, the basic few financial ratios, and that's it. So this is how we have planned, and because of the Easter holidays and because from 3rd to 15th I was also out and all AFI team members are busy. So the basic structure is already there, but this Hedera person was not able to come back to us, so that's why I'm not able to like create this landing page for you to show. But in 1 week time, definitely this will be online. So once we decide, I believe from next week onwards, or maybe 1st of May onwards, onboarding of the clients can start onto this platform. So I'm open to any question if you have, or Saibal sir, if you want to add from Sadhan point of view, definitely.
Akhil is here, Sunil is here, Rahul is also here, Sahil is also here. So all of these people, senior people are here. This effort is basically to give the visibility to the market that microfinance institutions, as Sagia was telling, that we may be doing a lot of things, but we do not document it properly. And at the end of the day, what happens when we aggregate the data from this Bharat Microfinance report or any report, we get very like very little data, and which is, I mean, we can show the growth, but it is not very exhaustive and all those stuff. So we thought that let us work with AFI and get a kind of at least visibility report that this is what Indian market is looking like. And it can be sellable to the income. It can be sellable to the your resource agencies, lenders and investors, because many lenders and investors, they come to us, but we don't have any aggregated data on the sector. This will help us to build up the aggregated data together and work together to take this sector for the next level. So this is one part of the things we do. Another thing is that we are creating, as I've told you, creating a platform. A lot of people are doing a lot of things, but we do not have any aggregated knowledge at national level. That's what we are doing as well. So it will be helpful to present that this is what we are doing at the sectoral level. And there may be lenders or something. I mean, these DFIs would be there. They are there. So they may also access all those things. So to build up the agenda for the accessing a fund, developing of capacity, if there is any policy glitch, we can work together. So this is a basic thing we wanted to do. As you know, that Bharat Microfinance Report is the reference data for both policymakers and regulator. This kind of aggregated, national level aggregated data will help us to create that kind of aura for the microfinance sector. So over to you, uh, whoever wants to understand more, Akhil, Rahul, Sunil.
So,
Oh,
I have a question, Dr. Again, this is Rahul Jory from Vector Finance, and thank you for a very, there was a lot of detail in the session that you took. Just wanted to understand, what are some of the climate-related risks that are there in the microfinance business? Given you would broadly be aware of how the MFI business operates. Can you
Right.
share specific climate-related risks that one should be aware of?
So if you like go into that detail, so technical detail, so few things like acute physical risk, and then climate risk can be into like two parts. One is mitigation, one is adaptation.
Mhm.
How these European Union companies always see risk is that they always see under the Article 9 of SFDR compliance. So as soon as you are going to take money from any European client, right, they always ask whether their fund is SFDR compliance or not. That is first part. So they have to comply with SFDR, and SFDR, under SFDR compliance, they can only put money into you if you have some kind of climate change related assessment framework. Now when you ask that how what kind of related risk is there, so the first thing is, do you capture some kind of carbon trails or carbon tracking is there or not? It is not only about climate change through carbon tracking. Maybe wastewater is also something. Maybe garbage is also one thing. Maybe collection of plastic into garbage and then segregate it and then selling it to somebody. So it is not about the scope 1, 2, or 3 categorization. Everybody knows that what kind of questions will be asked after 10 years. Somewhere we have to start, right? So there are many microfinance companies which are always asking that, okay, we have the details of our electricity, we have the details of how much electricity is consumed. But if a next question will be asked maybe in 2026, that how much amount of this electricity is coming from renewable resource and how much is coming from non-renewable resource. So maybe right now we do not have answers, but if you go to the European nation, this is a kind of question which they want to ask. If you get into another thing, so like a thermal power station. So in North India, most of the electricity is coming through thermal power station, through NTPC or something. So in Bangalore, once you get a list, once you get your electricity bill, at the end of it, they will always write that 30% of your energy comes from renewable and 70% comes from non-renewable. Now this is the kind of data which they want, right? But my point is, with all the MFIs, is that firstly, we electricity is bill is something which is available to all of us, in terms of microfinance institution or whatever business we are running. This is not tough data. But what we can always do is maybe one extra step. What kind of garbage we are creating at our head office, at branch office level, right? And are we tracking these kind of plastics? Are we tracking metals? Are we tracking something like tin bottles or something like that? So this is also something which showcase the impact investor that, okay, this company is serious about collecting this data and then putting it in the report. They do not want very traceable or very trackable kind of thing. That is something which will come after 5 years. That this is not going to happen today. But from regulatory perspective, they want to know whether you are serious on collecting this MIS data or not. That is one. Coming back to the question which you asked the answer is complicated, but I will try to give you that answer. You are able to see that, like maybe in Bihar or maybe in Chennai now, floods are happening every year. The frequency of floods are also happening. Do we have this percentage of portfolio, that how much percentage of portfolio within Bihar out of the total country, and within Bihar how much is there for the North Bihar where flood happens every year? If you have this number in your portfolio, then definitely that is something which is related to acute climate risk, and you should give it into your annual report. Why? Because this is where your loss provisions should be more. If you are not provisioning your loss as per the climate, because the climate activities are happening every time, then definitely your profit, whatever margins you are showing, it's not showing the right way. Now where it is connected in terms of finance, it is connected directly. I think Sangeeta ji, you have brought, and Saibal sir have brought somebody who was talking about micro insurance related to climate, right? So we had a long discussion that day. And if the portfolio is like my 1.15% of portfolio is in North Bihar, which is every year affected by this thing, can we get some rebate in terms of interest so that I can purchase my micro insurance so that my portfolio is safe for me? So looking at it at a very regional level is something which may not make sense. But if you see from a reinsurance point of view, if you see from that perspective, that within India, it's like maybe 20% of portfolio is under risk because of climate change. Can we do this reinsurance? Because impact investors are looking from that perspective. And also, just to tell you, Rahulji, because also we have to understand that all these impact investors are bhai at the end. At the back, if you see, all these development financial institutions have one institution, maybe World Bank or maybe Swiss Development Corporation or maybe somebody coming from any aid. They are together. So for them, like giving a whole portfolio some kind of cushion through Swiss Re or any regulatory body or any insurance body is very important. So that's why this data becomes very important for them. I hope I answered your
Right.
question.
Understood. Thank you.
So this will be our next effort, along with ESG, parametric insurance, which will be micro insurance, and the data will be like satellite tracked, so that there is no manual intervention. From the satellite data, we will be piloting a case against heat waves, then rainfall, drought, all these things, floods. The four parameters we'll be tracking on a pilot basis. So maybe we will be allowed to go to eastern side of the country where all these prevalent, the maximum rainfall, then cyclones, all those things. So let us see. That is in our next list. Thank you.
Right.
Akhil, anything? Sahil, Prashanta?
Thank you, Dr. Tripathi. How are you?
All well, sir. बहुत दिनों के मिले हुए.
Quite surprised. No, first of all, thank you, and thank you to Sadhan and AI for for Agents for Impact for organizing this. I have a more of a suggestion rather than the question, and I would like to put it on the house, totally at the discretion of Agents for Impact. Mitrata has dealt with Agents for Impact, so I have little more, awareness how things work or they don't work with Agents for Impact, and Dr. Tripathi knows about that. I think there's no doubt that ESG rating or in terms of our reporting is very critical, but the MFI is sitting in this room, couple of them only, and all of us are looking for debt and investments, equity, the two sides. I think the time has come that we don't discuss anything in isolation or in solos of independent of one of the others. If you have been saying more than once, I noted how many times you brought reference to investors that they want this, they want that. I think the commitment has to come from both sides. It's time that we should create a commitment window. The investors should be here on this call. The lenders should be there in this call, who are ready to commit to MFIs, that if MFIs commit with all sincerity, hard work, and we don't want free, we are ready to pay. I had paid to IIX Singapore when nobody was talking of impact assessment in India. I got Mitrata assessed by paying to IIX. I don't want to go into details what advantages we got over it, but we don't want free. We are ready to invest. But I think the commitment has to be on both sides. And there are clear examples that many institutions who have not done or reported anything on climate or resilience or environmental impact have enjoyed equity from investors, because the parameters for investors is many more than just environment or what you have been talking about. So if you say there are investors who are ready to invest and look into MFIs, then bring them in. Let's create a window. Let's have an incubation window, and not just rating or creating a baseline by a FISA light. We should have an action plan and a strategy to take forward and institutionalize everything in the DNA of the MFI. We are committed. MFIs are very committed and very resilient institutions, and we are very transparent. But now the time has come that it get reciprocated by lenders and investors. The sector has gone through a very difficult time last financial year. There's no liquidity in the market. Hardly any investments are being seen. MFI has become like a name. If you say I'm an MFI, nobody is even ready to talk to you about getting the money. If you are doing MSME, if you are doing something else, green. I'm not talking about green and renewable after Blue Smart. What has happened with Blue Smart? The clear example we have, the major fraud in name of renewable. So I think it's time that let's not just keep building these stories in isolation, Dr. Tripathi. Agent for Impact do lending. You are a debt institution yourself. Bring them in. Tell them, are they ready to commit 1 million to every MFI who is going to participate in this program? Are they ready to give the money? No. I know Agent for Impact will never commit. I am saying this on the call very officially. So I think your criteria for lending money is very different. And again, I'm saying based on my experience, not theoretically. So I would say I would not like to participate in this. Why should I? When there is no commitment from either the lenders like Agents for Impact or investors. I don't know what investors you are talking about. Give me a few names. Are you talking of GAVA? Are you talking of Axion? Are you talking of which investment fund you are talking about who are ready to invest in MFI in today's context, particularly in India? So sorry, I'm not being pessimistic or negative. I am just putting some reality check on the table. I know Saibal will hate me for this, and even Sangeeta, but it's not about doing some study and you are raising our hopes, Dr. Tripathi. You are raising our hopes. Don't raise our hopes. Give me the commitment. Once I go through it, are you saying a term sheet and a transaction is going to get closed of X amount of equity in Mitrata? Tell me I am ready to sign anywhere and start yesterday. I don't want to wait.
No. I think the largest portfolio of Agents for Impact is in India. Maybe
No,
Mitrata have not got.
I don't want to go for that.
So that's why I'm not answering you from the debt point of view, because I'm not taking care of debt right now. That is first. The second thing is, this whole conceived, the idea was conceived not on the basis of debt commitment. The idea was conceived on the basis of knowledge creation, and then proving a point that yes, companies understand the climate change, companies understand the reporting, companies understand the overall disclosure framework. That is the basis of this whole idea, and coming out with this
We
kind of.
understand, and we want to understand, we want to learn, we want to invest, we want to go forward. Please bring commitment from the other side.
No, I can
So
understand. I can understand both of the things what you are telling. And our major objective is also that to bring fund into the system, finance infrastructure system, for sure. Only this practice will help us to create data on the sector which we can market. We actually in India, we do not have aggregated data. Means the first-hand aggregated data we do not have. So we were trying to develop that data. So once we develop that one, the way we resource the fund, the way we bring together the institution will definitely happen. I can understand both of the sides. So this is not the exercise for getting the fund. This exercise has the objective to get the fund into the system. So not only fund, we are also like Akhil being from a progressive institution, he may be having the capacity. Many of these institutions, they do not have capacity. That is also what we are looking for. So capacity, policy, fund, all three things we are looking forward for. But we do not have any data, sectoral data, which we can market. So that's what this exercise is all
Dr.
about.
Sahil,
I think
then
I
in
think
that case, it is an SRO level because then all the MFIs who are the member of Sadhan should be on the call, and the data has to be for the sector as a whole, not for 4 MFIs sitting in the room or maybe.
So what we have done that we have picked together a couple of MFIs to understand this one, and Afi has already done this your assessment for another 2025 institution. The data which we are looking forward is not only this 4 or 15, we are looking forward for more than that. So 10 or 15 from this end, and they have done already 2025 as they were telling. We will pull together the data and have misunderstanding. When we started our data set in 2004-5, only 15 institutions were there to give us the data. Now we are having more than 200 institutions giving us the data. It may take a bit of time, but definitely it will happen. So not only couple of institutions, other data is also there. Sahil, anything? Adi Chitragupta, who is there from Adi Chitragupta? If you have anything to ask. Prashanta is also there.
Sabil, I agree. This ESG or SDG have to start from somewhere. What Akhil Saab is putting also, like there should be some commitment from all the sides so that just to take this forward from what we are doing now, what we are planning to do in next 5 years, and where we are plan to reach in next 15 years. Say.
Right. So once this data is with us, we will have a presentation. Then we will have a strategy planning that what exactly we need to do. Definitely one is your raising of fund. So we will try to bring this funders, investors, lenders, investors into the system. And the other thing, we will also bring the capacity building. Maybe there are some policy glitches which we are yet to understand. If we do all these things, definitely fund will come.
Maybe the enabling environment that we are creating with this will attract the investors to come and and invest in MFIs. That is another way of attracting commitment as well, because we don't know on what basis they invest in MFIs, but this will be a very systematic plan with which we will be attracting more and more investors, keeping up with the need of the hour. So we are getting prepared. We are um, we are working towards this MFI readiness. But assessing accessing these funds which are available in international market, and also be at par with the new compliance mechanism that is coming.
I think I just want to add before the final wrap up. So it's not about one company or two companies. I think sector as a whole needs to understand that commitment is also not being completed from the company's point of view, where we have received money. We can see many examples now. Many MFIs are struggling and are in red, not because the debt investments are not happening. Debt investments have happened, but they are not able to do something on field or in their process or in their like overall ecosystem. So the whole problem is like we are asking somebody to invest in us, and the commitment from their side, that is one part. But what about our commitment to them? Yes, there are good institutions, there are bad institutions, there are okay institutions. What Akhilji is saying, that okay, I am committing that okay, I will do this, I will do that. That is one part of it. But are we also able to commit for all the institutions? The answer is no. What about the medium and the small size MFIs, which are still working on field? And I believe we all accept that the kind of impact these institutions are making in terms of social or environmental is far more than ones which are making in a different ball game altogether. So the whole point is that where we should start. Either we should wait for the money, or we should wait for the compliances to come in. If we talk about BRSR, nobody waited for anything to happen, and they have made it very clear. SEBI has clearly made a guideline that if you are the top 100 listed company, you have to comply with this. I think this is going to come in one way or the other way. In next 2 years, this is going to come, because it's not only about one company or one sector. It is about how India is getting money. And I believe Saibalji and everyone in this room, everybody knows that how much amount of money has been given to NABARD in the name of Green Climate Fund. But why NABARD is not able to invest that money into any other institution? I think one of the reason is again that where to invest, how to get information that how to invest this money. So we all know the answers, I believe, and we also know the crucial points around it. It's a chicken and egg kind of a problem. Either we should start, or we can still wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, see, Sadhan's work is actually matchmaking. Like we understand both of the sides, but the matchmaking sometimes doesn't happen because of certain things. So we are building up those blocks, that we can like if somebody is coming, we can put on their plate. See, this is what our industry is. This is the growth we have seen. These are the areas we have seen. These are the areas we saw that the challenges were there. These are the areas we have worked on it. So all these things are there, and we make a kind of ecosystem for the microfinance sector. That's what we want to do. And I totally agree that if we don't get money, it doesn't work. But to get money, we need to do something. Something means some constructive, some building blocks are there. We need to put together. So this is what we wanted to discuss with you people, and possibly very soon we will come back to you to get some more data, on not very deep data, because Papi sir, it's like a request of us. They have developed a very light, very small, like not that much deeper tool, but it will give us some understanding that where are we standing. We are also talking to other institutions if they want to join hands, not only at retail level, but at knowledge level. We are also looking forward for some more support from different agencies. So we'll try to make it more participatory and industry level data. Thank you very much. We'll come back to you very soon with some requests from our end. Thank you for joining. And we always like to hear your points, and all those points are well regarded, well documented. Thank you once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sabal.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.